populist right-wing Alternative for Germany, or the AfD, win almost 21% of the vote. That's 2 points ahead of Merkel's CDU party. The campaign hinging pretty much on one key issue: Merkel's open-door policy towards migrants. Merkel speaking at the G20 summit in China, insisting, though, that her policy was the right one, but admitting that she did have to win back the confidence of German voters.
Of course, the result of the elections is connected to our policy on refugees. I'm the head of the party and the Chancellor. The two cannot be separated. So, of course, I'm seen as being responsible. But I think our decisions were correct and we have to move forward.
We're joined for more analysis on this question by our international affairs editor, Douglas Herbert, in the studio. Doug, this defeat, it's in a home state for Angela Merkel. It means a lot of German analysts are really asking whether she can remain in power. We even saw the front page of the Bild newspaper saying it's a slap in the face, another slap in the face for Angela Merkel. How big of a setback is this?
Look, everyone, of course, is smelling blood right now, right? It is a big defeat, but we have to also put this in a little bit of context, especially given that Angela Merkel. She's a very savvy, very, very wily politician who has come through very turbulent waters before and emerged okay. It's serious, but it's not like this has happened overnight. We've seen the signs of this coming for a while. There were regional elections back in March in which this party, the populist party, the AfD, was already making inroads, and her party was taking a bit of a hit. Angela Merkel, and we could see it from her initial response all the way over in China from the G20 summit, saying basically, okay, owning up to it. I am partially to blame for this result. I'm the chancellor. It's ultimately my policy, and the people are voting on that basis. But she's also significantly saying she's not going to change that policy. Why? At the end of the day, Angela Merkel, she believes her fundamental conviction is about European values. She believes in protecting the right of asylum, the basic right of freedom that lie at the heart of the European Charter. She's not changing that for anything, and she's taking a gamble. She's taking a gamble that right now her defeat in this state is on this one refugee policy issue, that perhaps the political waters will change, the mood will change by next year, and people will come back to her and see the broader picture, and she won't just be punished for this one particular issue in her handling of it.
Yeah, and the key really question is whether she runs for a fourth term in the federal elections next year. How representative is this one single state up on the Baltic coast? It may be her home state, but I mean, it's not all of Germany speaking here or voting here.
Not by any means. It has a relatively high poverty rate. It's very low in density. There's some irony here because only under 4% of its population is actually non-German, and it has been actually assigned, refugees when they come to Germany and when they came in last year, the million in 2015, they're assigned to various regions based on sort of the wealth of those regions and their capacity to take them in. This particular region took in fewer refugees, was assigned fewer refugees than all but two of the German so-called Länder, that is the German states. So it's that irony, that paradox again, that the area that has actually taken in some of the fewest refugees of any region in Germany happens to also have a very strong showing for the party that is the most sort of anti-migrant, anti-European in its policies. It's not representative, but as we said, in this election, it's not about local politics. It seems that these regional elections, we have another one coming up in Berlin on September 18th, are really about this big national issue. People are voting about their discontent with the globalization, with the sense that Europe's out of control. It's a populist vote. It's a vote based on her refugee policy. So it's less about local issues than national ones. That's why this state, it's not really about the state, it's about the federal level.
You mentioned there the national questions. It's not just Germany and Angela Merkel which is facing this rising tide of populist parties. To a certain extent, with Brexit, with the National Front here in France, as well as what's occurring in Germany, so this is a very pan-European trend.
Pan-European, almost everywhere you look right now. We've been talking about the far-right National Front Party here in France, which already people, the smart money is on the fact that it will probably make the second round of the elections in the two-round presidential election next year. We see just about, the Netherlands, in Denmark, Hungary and Poland, very strong populist parties. You basically have across Europe this pan-European sense of a fear right now, a fear that Europe is losing control, what I was just talking about. And a lot of politicians, the populist ones, and especially focusing on security issues, identity issues. We really see this here in France right now with the campaign on the right, especially of Nicolas Sarkozy. Those are his main themes right now, and it's working so far.